All right. So here we go with the story of Calibur Bassett Balmes. One day when I was living in Bellevue, I was driving on Bellevue Way, and there was a little pug that got hit by some cars, and there was cars coming both ways. There was bikers, there was joggers. Nobody stopped for the little baby. So I put my blinkers on and I stopped and I pick up the little dog, and there was another car coming the other way who stopped and saw me and saw what was happening. And so she pulled over and she saw I picked up the little doggy, and so I went and took the dog and she took me, and I got in her car and we took the dog down to, there's a vet in Bellevue.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the dog down there. It had a chip. They found the owners. It had gotten out. She was okay. But it had me thinking, because Mom had always saved dogs, cats, birds, hamsters, horses, you name it. So I thought, well, maybe I'm ready for, a special buddy. But I had a condo that didn't have a yard.
Mm-hmm.
So I posted on Craigslist that I was willing to save a small or medium-sized dog. I got all kinds of emails, puppies for sale, and all kinds of stuff. And one of the first people, she might have even been the first, was the gal of the family that had Calibur, and sent me pictures of him. And I didn't know anything about Basset Hounds. I don't think I even knew a Basset Hound. So I said, well, they lived in Puyallup, and I was working in Seattle, so I knew I would have to bus home, get my car, or whatever. So I said, well, I'll meet you tonight in Renton. There's a water park there.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got there, because it was October, it's October 6th, it was dark, and so she got there first, and he was out of the car, and as I pulled up, I could see in the dark, I could see all of his ribs, every single one of his ribs. And he had a piece of rope tied around his neck as a collar, and he had a cat leash as his leash. And he's this, he's a big dog on short legs. No food, no toy, no dish. All they brought was this wire crate that was filthy dirty. And it was obvious that he had been living outside in this crate. And of course, I'm sure the reason that he was driving them crazy is he was living outside. You can't have a hound dog living outside. They're going to get on the scent and bark and sniff and do all kinds of hound dog types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I pulled up and saw him, I said, oh, I'm taking him. It doesn't matter if I click with him. Doesn't matter, whatever. I'm taking him. And of course, I have my nephew dog, Glory, who I used to take to the Petco for his baths and stuff in Kirkland. So the first stop I made was to the Petco in Kirkland, and he saw me, and I told him Calibur's the story, and asked him if he would give him a bath because he was filthy.
Mm-hmm.
His teeth hadn't been cleaned, his toenails were curled over, he hadn't been neutered. He was awful. He was in awful shape. And so he said, oh yeah, I'll do whatever you want right now, but did you get the proof of shots? And I thought, oh, shoot. No, I didn't. So I called her when we were driving in the driveway, and I said, I just want you to know Calibur made it home to his new home, okay? But I just need to know if you have any records of any of his shots or anything. And she said, oh, that's so good. I'll look tomorrow. And I said, okay. Now keep in mind, this day she emailed me nonstop all day. All kinds of pictures, all kinds of info, everything. So the next morning by 11:30, something like that, still hadn't heard from her. So I sent an email, and probably, I don't know, 45 minutes later, it was a while later, she sent an email back that said, oops, sorry, looks like he needs all of his shots. And so I just replied, okay, no problem. Do you have any records? Never heard from her again. So that day, I called the vet that I had taken that other little dog that I saved, and I told them the story and said, I saved another little soul. I need your help. And they said, okay, bring him in. So they stayed open because they knew I was going to have to go home and get my car and then bring him back. And they stayed open, and I took him in there. And they they gave him his shots, and they put a chip in him, and they did all kinds of things for him while he was there. But they couldn't do the rabies, so he was going to have to come back in 2 weeks. Or do the neuter. He was going to have to come back in 2 weeks. So, in the meantime, I take him back 2 weeks later, and she had been checking every vet in the Puyallup area. There's no record of a Bassett Hound named Calibur or anything. So they obviously had never taken him in for anything that he needed. And he went in there, into that Bellevue vet, got all fixed up, and from then on out, smooth sailing.
Wow.
Best Bassett ever.
You wonder what that owner ever thought about him. I mean,
they had 2 dogs, 2 cats, a bird, 2 kids under 2. She worked full time, and he was going back to work full time. And they kept the hound dog outside. So, I don't know. I was telling my mom that it's amazing to think that they gave this sweet soul up. But like she said, he was looking for me, so they had to give him up so that I could get him, and he could save me, and I could save him.
And what a great life he's had.
What a great life he's given all of us.
All of us, yep.
Forever in our hearts, Calibur Balmes, forever. It's a good story.
It is a good story.